Hey, everybody. How's it going? This is Night Yard. I am Casper.
I'm Johnny. Russell, I'm Johnny. Sorry, guys.
I should have introduced you guys.
That's all right. I know.
Yeah.
Don't adjust your device. Tom, let me quickly kind of let everybody know what's going on. Tommy's horizontal. He's really
do that.
He hurt his back. It's bad. Physically, he's a wreck. He heard it the first time he heard it was maybe a month ago. And I remember when he heard it, I thought, God, please don't because memory, muscle has memory, but injuries do too. And when you hurt it back, I don't know anybody who hurt it back once and that was it. It becomes a recurring thing. And I was worried about it, and sure enough, fell off the ladder. Really, that kind of took things to a new level. But he is not well. So if he could be here right now, he would. I was just telling the guys backstage before we started, I have a very bad back. I've had a bunch of surgeries. I've got hardware and plates and screws and stuff in me. But I'm very fortunate. I'm not in any pain sitting like this. I can sit down and for the most, I can laying down is painful, but I can sit down. I can't walk very well and I can't stand still at all. It kills me. But Tommy he can squat. He can't sit. He can't, standing hurts, laying down hurts. He's just, it's a bummer, man.
Man, it's the worst. It's the worst, brother. Yeah,
I wouldn't wish it on anybody, man, at all. So anyway, he asked if I could sit in, and I said I could. You want to hear a funny story? Before we did this, I was my mom. You may not want to watch this. She's like, "Wow,
turn it off, Mom."
Yeah, I'm like, because I'm going to talk about being in jail. She goes, "You've been to jail?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I haven't been in prison, obviously," but she was like stunned. She was surprised. She goes, "How many times?" Tommy's like, "A lot." Don't. Yeah, I said you don't need to watch this. So listen, everybody, if you have questions, throw Q's in there. If you have comments, toss some capital C's, and I'll flag them. And as we're going along, we'll kind of answer them if you and deal with them and address them. If you have any questions, please go for it, though.
Yeah, thanks for the ones, guys, for Tommy. We appreciate it. Yeah. We all know what that means.
Yeah, and back problems are a drag. And he's going.
Yeah, they are.
It's his fault. He had no business being on that ladder.
Yeah, my uncle had.
I didn't even know about
17 surgeries. He's got a pain pump in his side, and I've got a 4-inch plate with 8 pins in my neck.
I had the same. I think I had the same neck surgery you had. Mine was called. It was a C6 corpectomy with an anterior fusion of C3 through 7.
Yeah.
So I had the same thing as you did. So did they go through the front or the back?
Yep, front, right here.
Yeah. That was the last surgery I had. It was funny when I had it. That was the one where I told the doctor, the surgeon says, count down from 100. I said, I got nothing to say, Warden. Roll him. He's like, man, that's not funny. Please count down. I said, do what you got to do, man. I'm done. And it went well, but that was my last surgery. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm lucky with my back stuff, but it's a drag. So,
I get hip injections on the 20th, and then I'm meeting with the neurologist for my surgery for next month. So,
oof.
Oh, man.
Yeah, not looking forward to it.
So, what's your major ailment? Is the hip the biggest problem you got?
Mine's sciatic, and I have a spondy. I never can remember the name. It's where I have 2 discs that are sliding like that, and they're touching back here. So they're like going like this, and so they're going like that. They're touching, and then in between all that, it's all like what do you call them, spurs and arthritis, and so they're gonna go in and fix that. And my back has no arc; it's like straight, and then my neck is even worse. My neck has no arch; it's like straight out.
Was it from injury? Was it brought on by injury? Do you have stenosis?
No,
is that what you said?
From tattooing. It's from tattooing.
Okay. Because I have stenosis. I have
no, it's called mine's called spondylosis, something like that.
My stenosis, where the inside it starts to get calcified and closes like this, and it starts to close in and squeeze all the nerves in the middle.
Yep.
Crazy.
Tommy says, "Sorry, everyone. No lie, I'm dying." Now, when he says that, he's not literally dying. I don't want you to panic. He's going to be alive tomorrow. He's just cranky and he's in a lot of pain, and he probably won't sleep tonight. So I might fill him from tomorrow. You never know. In fact, look at this. Maramella says you're not dying, Tommy. I'm so sorry you're hurt.
Yeah. I'd rather him rest tonight and maybe do tomorrow morning. That would be great. But if he can't do tomorrow, then I understand that too.
That's what you got.
And
Ankylosing spondylitis.
Yep, that's what it is. Thank
What
you. I don't know
God,
why I can never remember that.
What caused everything with you guys? I mean, mine was a motorcycle wreck on the racetrack.
Mine
You
was
were racing
tattooing.
when it happened? Damn.
Oh yeah.
But also, I used to power lift. I used to be really big. I was almost 300 pounds, and I used to power lift, and I used to squat, 700 pounds. And when you put that much weight on your top of your shoulders, it's like a freight train. And like literally, yeah, when you back up, you're literally like this. You're just like, it's like it's hectic. So,
Yeah, not me, man. So mine was from just bad living. I had, football. I had a bunch of, really bad collisions in football. They were like car accidents. I was thrown through the windshield of a car. That didn't do me any good. So it was a lot of sports and just bad stuff. But, I think on top of that, once you get an injury, it can make things worse. So it starts to snowball. And like from my T5 from my like throat all the way down, almost everything is either herniated or bulged. I mean, if you read the report, it's not cool to read. It's a bummer. But, I was on really bad pain. I went to a pain management doctor for a while. And we started me on like Vicodin, and that wasn't working anymore. So he put me on Percocet. Yeah. And then one day I go there and he says, "We're going to put you on methadone." He's talking to a junkie. So I'm like, yeah, I'm all set. I've done that. The last time I took methadone was to get off dope. I don't need that again. So I just walked and cold turkeyed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stronger than me.
So now the strongest thing I take now is aspirin. What were you going to say?
Yeah. I just want to thank Credence and Mikey for the super sticker. We appreciate you, brother. I'm a huge fan of these guys' show. They have a show. I don't know if it's a morning show, like
no way. I am a huge
our morning show. I can't
believe Credence and Mikey. I'm a massive fan. That's nuts.
Oh, are you really?
Cool. Yeah, I can't believe that's them. Wow.
Oh yeah, dude, huge fan too.
I'm stunned.
When I first started Legal Livewire, it was called All Rise Legal Network, and I came on. I didn't come on their show, but I just was like, "Hey, hi guys, I'm a huge fan," and they're like, "Oh." He said, "Yeah, we've seen a couple of your videos." And I was like, "Oh man," I made a quick little video of just them giving me a shout out. I was so happy. Yeah, I would love to have them on our morning show, one of these mornings on the Morning Mayhem show. Cause they kind of are my inspiration to do that morning show. Although they do theirs later on the I don't know exactly when they do it, but everyone, if they get it, you should go check out their content. I know a lot of our watchers, when I do court stuff, when Tommy's not there in the morning, are huge fans of, they know the judges and stuff. Credence and Mikey also do the judges and things like that. And all right, thank you, Kristen Melinda, best mod in town. Thank you so much, Kristen. I really appreciate you doing that. But yeah, go check them out. Hit that like and subscribe if you like it. I'm sure you're gonna like it, so I don't even have to. Very cool. But I'm also gonna talk about them tomorrow on the morning show too. So.
Yeah, Johnny, I wrecked. I had a tire blowout. I was at about 177, almost done with the run on a quarter mile, and the tire blew.
That's a terrifying. I went 150 in a car once. I can't fathom doing 177 on two wheels.
Oh yeah, I've done 216. So yeah, that's the fastest I've ever been.
That's crazy. We got a question here. Taylor Miller, y'all's thoughts on Busby dropping Jay-Z's lawsuit?
So, man, here's the deal. I know Tommy's talked about it, and I've kind of heard a little bit about what he's been saying. I don't think he's settled. And actually, didn't I just hear tonight that Jay-Z's filing another lawsuit against Busby for running his name through the mud? I don't know if that's what I heard or not. I'm sure Tommy can correct me on that, but I want to say that I heard that today.
Yeah. You know what? It's such a fluid, evolving thing. It's constantly changing and moving.
And it's all speculation by us
Yeah, right.
for the most part.
There's
Educated
a lot of that.
speculation, but
Well, here's the
speculation.
thing. I feel really at a loss. You guys are amazing. You guys have such a working knowledge. You really do have an understanding of the legal system. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just dodged bullets. I was a criminal. I just got really lucky. I mean, I've been arrested and been in jail a handful of times, but I never, I never really studied the legal system because I didn't.
Yeah.
I got really lucky. So I feel sort of handicapped talking about all this stuff. But
No, you're fine.
Jay-Z,
Even though you're a rookie, you're a rookie. So
if you want to talk about crime, listen, I'm your dude. I was good at that.
Yeah.
No statute of limitations on it. So,
but like today I printed out the opinion in order that it's the last opinion in order that the judge made. And I don't know if Tommy didn't know that has been out. It's been out for almost a week. So I don't know why we haven't talked about this yet or not, but we'll probably talk about it tomorrow morning on the Morning Mayhem show.
Layla asked, was it hard finding work as an ex-con after you left lockup?
Yeah.
I'm a tattoo artist, so it was actually easier for me to be, you know what I mean? Yeah. But even when I wasn't, I mean, I always painted, did commercial painting, house painting, and those guys, they hire right out of the halfway house. So, but I always, if the halfway house didn't let me tattoo, which is sometimes like when I went to the halfway house in Hollywood, which is where I'm from and live. I'm not from Montana. They just made me come live up here because I got sentenced up here. I found a job like right away, but they wouldn't let me tattoo there because you have to have a paycheck.
Oh yeah.
And seems such a long time ago now, man. So weird.
I know. It's like you get out. When I got out, they did the same thing. You had to go find a job, show you were working, do your drug test or whatever. And I did all my time. So there's nothing they could say to me.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I ran my number out.
That was a good move.
Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't I didn't do it on purpose. It was just catching cases. They kept taking
Right,
it.
that's how it worked. Right. Yeah, but in the long run, you're probably glad you did. You closed the door and walked away. You didn't have that looming over you because I'm telling you, man, you know how it is, man. It's just designed to keep you in.
Yeah.
Lisa Trimble asked, what's the longest period of time I've ever been in? You had to be in jail. You know what's really interesting? I was very lucky every time. I've been, a bunch of times I was arrested. I always had a crew. It was Tommy, and usually it was at least Tommy and somebody else. One or two other guys. So I always had somebody that had a vested interest in making sure I wasn't behind bars. So I think the longest time, a couple of days, man. Seriously, I've been now altogether. It was probably I don't know how many times, maybe 10 times I've been arrested altogether for things like fighting and things like fighting and just stupid stuff like that. But I really did get lucky, But honestly, the reason I never really had to spend a lot of time was because there were minor offenses, and I had people that were just very, very quick to get me out.
Right. I had to have more juvenile time.
Yeah.
You know what? How much? Yeah. Well, I got lucky, and I'm serious. If the book that I wrote that was going to be released in March, if I got caught for the stuff that I did, I'd be serving like a long time for the crap I pulled. I just got very, very lucky.
Yeah.
Taylor has an interesting one. Johnny, did you and Tommy ever pretend to be each other? Y'all are basically identical twins.
Absolutely, they did. I had to have.
Well, I know, like Tommy knows my social. I know his. There's one time it was bad. We got pulled over, and he was driving and said he was me. Didn't have his driver's license. Just gave him all the information about me, and they're like, "All right." And they came around to my side, and they said, "What's your name?" And I had to say Tommy.
Yeah.
And I ended up going, out of the car.
He had a warrant? He had a warrant?
He had, yeah, man. He had a warrant. So
Hell yeah.
This is an unbelievable story, man.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. It's the night yard. Let's hear it.
This is bad, man. We were in a car. See, this is a significant chunk in the book. This is a significant story in the book. So I don't know. Should I even be telling this, Tommy? I gotta get Tommy's a head nod from Tommy. Seriously.
I mean, if it's a significant, if it's like the book, then no,
it's not
don't tell
the
it.
book. No, it's not the book, but it's a pretty good story, man. It's a pretty, you know.
You don't have to tell it, man. It's all right.
Taylor's saying, please. I don't think he'll mind. So I got pulled over. We got pulled over. It was everything in the world was in the car, as far as substances. You name it, it was in the car, and it was and a pew in the trunk. It was just a very, very bad situation. And we got pulled over, and he was driving, and they asked him who he was, and he said me. And so anyway, he didn't have a warrant because I was clean, and he was something stupid, bench warrant for a speeding ticket, something dumb. They pulled me out, and I had to make matters worse, I had a blade in my pocket. So they said, "Is there anything that's going to stick me?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually, probably do." So that was bad, and this is great. Before I get out of the car, I'm sitting in the car, and there's like immediately two cars behind us, two cop cars. I'm like, how bad is it? He's looking in the rear view mirror. He goes, dude behind us putting on gloves. I went, no way. Before you know it, and I'm not exaggerating. Before you know it, there's like 4 or 5 cop cars there. They yanked me out. Next thing I know, they're like, that is a warrant for your arrest. I went, go figure. So they cuffed me, and they put me in the paddy wagon. And so from my point of view, that's it. I'm done. I don't know what happens from this point on. They take me right down to Par Boulevard, and they take me to intake. So I'm going through the process, and I'm like, I figure any second I'm going to see Tommy, and it's going to be bad. I mean, with all the stuff we had in the car and that, that would be a long rip. And so he was what he didn't. He got. I'll make you buy the book, but he was able. He did not. They did not go through that car, and they should have. And they did not go through that car. And he. It was crazy because I'm down there, and they yell his name, and I stand up and I walk up, and I'm not. They asked me to fill everything out. He's right-handed. I'm left-handed. I know the cameras are on me. We have, at that point in time, every tattoo I had, he had. So they were taking pictures of my tattoos. They were freaked out by the whole thing. So I go to fill the information. I'm signing right-handed because Tommy is right-handed. I'm signing all of his information. And I sit down, and I'm terrified because I know when they run my prints, I'm in the system, and they run my prints, I'm done. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there, and they yell my name, and they said, "Let's go, Prince." You know the routine. I stand up. I'm like, "Holy crap! It's not ink. It's the digital." So I'm just like, I get my prints done. I thought it was going to pop up immediately. I thought it was immediately lights are going to flash. That's just in my head what was going to happen. Nothing happened. They do my prints. They said, go sit down. I sit down. I'm sitting there for like 10 or 15 minutes. I'm just like, oh my God. It was like horrific. It was like it couldn't get worse. Plus, I'm using at the time. So I'm going to be dope sick in an hour, couple hours. I mean, it's just I can't get worse. And they screamed my name. I look over. They said, you made bail. I went, what? I made bail. I'm thinking, how did that happen? So I'm sitting, and now it's a race for, how bail is. When you're in intake, once you get bail, it can still be an hour. I mean, it's going to be a while. No one's in a hurry. So I'm sitting here, I got bail, and now now it's a race between what's going to happen first. Am I going to get bailed out, or are they going to realize that I'm not Tommy? So I'm just going, holy crap. I'm the most, no one's looking comfortable in intake, but I look really uncomfortable. So finally I'm sitting there, they scream my name again. They said, stand up, get on the yellow line, walk to the edge. Don't move from the yellow line. You stay on it. You understand? You walk to the edge. I was just like, holy crap, I'm getting bailed out. And I get to the end, and there's Tommy. I was like, how? How did this happen? And I got out of there before they ever realized that I wasn't Tommy. He eventually, I mean, obviously it came to light. He was already at this, when it came to light, he was already inside. I think he was doing time for the bank rip. I'm not sure what sentence he was doing, but he was inside when it came to light, and the statute of limitations had passed on it.
Oh,
which
good.
was hilarious. So, but that was the only time that we that was as bad as it got as far as claim, switch. But other than that, we did it a dozen times where it just didn't get that hairy.
Hey, Dave, do you remember? Do you remember this? You guys getting in this little scuffle right here?
Dude, you know what? Can I tell you something? When I saw that, I almost had a stroke. And that's the funniest thing.
Isn't it funny? Look at these guys. Look at those young guys.
So that's Tommy and I. We were kids, and we were in Bermuda. We were like, I don't know how old we were, in our 20s. But so Casper is just a freak. When I saw that, I was like, you're an evil man, dude. That is all. None of that's real. That's just you being a genius with a computer. But we only got into a fight, I think, twice in our lives. We got into a fight. Like we actually came to blows. Yeah. Which is a good thing because he killed me. He's a beast.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. He's got big mitts, man. His mitts are big, man. Yeah.
I've been through that
too. He's like the only guy that I know that's got bigger hands than me. They're pretty big. And Taylor says, be honest, how long were you pissed at him? 2 seconds. Not long at all. You gotta be kidding me. When it all worked out the way it did. Yeah, you need to read it. If you read the book, it was a very, very intense couple hours because it took a while for the whole thing to kind of, and it didn't really blow over. It was, you know what that was? Seriously, if you read the book, it's the beginning of the end. Everything starts to come apart at that point in our lives. Everything went off we were. I'm sure you heard a lot about it, Cass. You must have.
Sure.
I'm sure you heard a lot of those stories because.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm positive he told you the story that I just sort of told you. I'm sure he told you the full story.
I'm pretty sure. Yep. Absolutely.
Enjoy the luck while you had it,
Listen, can I tell you something? If you knew the guilt I felt every day, they say that when someone is in the military, when they go to serve, the family serves every day. Mm-hmm. And you guys know this. When someone is in prison, their family serves every day with them. Now, it's not the same. It's an easier sentence out, but the guilt that I felt every day, because I never robbed a bank, all right? But other than that, everything that Tommy did, I did right along with him. You know what I mean? And the fact that I got away and never did time, that was gut-wrenching. I felt like, I'm the older brother too. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to protect him, and I was supposed to be the good example and be a good brother. You know what I mean? The ants just ate at me every day. Just like the day he got released, I can't begin to tell. Well, nothing compared to what he felt, but the weight that came off my shoulders that day was incredible.
Yeah, I bet.
I've been involved in a raid. A lot of them, but I had another buddy's ID on me, and I thought I had warrants, so I gave him the other ID. And he had a warrant for driving on suspended. So they took me to jail.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any warrants under my name, I come to find out.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
It sucked.
Yeah.
But having your brother do it.
Yeah.
Kristen, thank you so much. Here's a question. Nurse Holly asked this, I guess. Just got a job as a nurse in Washington County Jail in Oregon. How do medical staff and inmates interact, and what can she expect? Great question.
I'll go first, Russ. Okay. I mean, it just all really depends. But for the most part, like almost 100% of the time, it's we respect the medical staff, especially the nurses. I think the biggest concern I would have is, because some guys can be creeps, and they just like try to stare at them, for maybe a little bit too long, but if you get most of the time when I've seen a nurse get assaulted, it's usually from a paisa, one of our Mexican brothers from down south, because there's a language barrier. And so like, and then if the nurse is saying, no, I don't understand you, or no, I can't give you your medication, or, the nurse is trying to explain, like, maybe your meds haven't been approved yet. And so they just think they're saying no, no, no. And they get upset and they freak out. But for the most part, it's a pretty safe gig. They usually have an escort, with an officer. But it's a pretty good gig. And if she's got, a big heart and comes off compassionate, she'll be left alone, and not be, because nurses do get, I can always tell a nurse that's been there for a long time, because they get a little bit, they get a little edge to them. There's like that, they're not as cool as they probably used to be. They're just straightforward. Yeah, unless they've known you, unless they've been there, like I've come in and out of a certain jail, a bunch of times before I, got my shit together. The nurses, who knew me, they were always super cool, and I'd see them be like kind of bitchy to the other inmates. But because I was there, like probably on their first day, they were always super cool to me, and bummed out that I'm back, always.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only ones you're going to have trouble with are like you said,
Or
language.
J-Cats.
Yeah, or guys that are coming in that are strung out or going through withdrawals, trying to get medicine, whatever they can do. I've never seen anybody really do anything to a nurse because of having a guard with them or being behind a door.
Yeah.
But she should be okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She'd probably like it. It's
don't put anything on though. They will trick you, so be careful.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And you will get, and if she's cute, they're, guys are they're going to shoot at her, like, hand her a note on the sly, and I've seen nurses hook up with inmates, and get fired and all kinds of things.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey Casper, what is the least painful place to get a tattoo? I'm a girl.
You're a girl. On your arm's the least painful place, I would say. But girls take it better than men. Historically, yeah. That wasn't. But yeah, on your arm. But you're going to be fine no matter. You're going to just be like, oh, this is nothing. When can I get my next one?
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Or I mean, you might already have some, and just
I'm ready for my next one. Taylor says, Johnny, are you as close to your other siblings as you are with Tommy? No, I mean, I'm close to my siblings, but I'm, like I know what Tommy's thinking right now. I don't know what my sisters are thinking. So I love them dearly, and we're close. We have a close family, but I just have a different bond with Tommy.
Been through more with them.
Oh my God, yeah. Robert Hall says, is jail more unruly than prison? You know what? I can only speak from my experience of the little county jails that I've been in. I've never had a good time. I've been in a couple fights, and I've never been there more than a day. So things not fun.
Well, the thing about it is in prison, if you mess up, you'll just get cleaned up. I mean, you won't get the chance to act a fool. Nothing. You're just going to get hit. And in county jail, they'll get away with it because, everybody's separated and this and that, and they can do whatever they want to do. But in prison, you can be touched quick. So everybody's got more respect in there.
Yeah.
I think.
So, to answer the question specifically, using the word unruly, absolutely. Jail is definitely more unruly.
Well, James wants you to elaborate a little bit, if you could. Is it because people still clout chase in jail and people in prison doing long time and don't want their routines messed up from BS?
Put it this
all
way.
Of that.
Yeah, it is. Because if you get into prison and you're settled up with a lifer, what are you going to do? You're going to act a fool, or are you going to, this man is never going to get out. So what's he going to do? What's he got to lose? You start acting an idiot, he's going to stab you in the neck.
I remember Tommy, when he finally got an idea when he was going to be leaving, I remember thinking, like, what a bad idea it is to have somebody who's on his way out in the same place as somebody who's looking at a long stretch. Because I'll tell you something, if the jerk in me, if you know, what's to stop someone from saying, no, hell no, I'm here. I'm gonna make sure you stay here. You're gonna catch a charge before you leave here. I would be scared to go to eat. I mean, when I remember being really nervous for him during those days, worried that would happen.
I get down to the last 2 weeks. You got S time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they do that in feds, but in state they put you on S time. You don't work anymore. You just become a
they do that in the feds with work, but they don't separate you. I don't know if they do that in the state. Yeah, but like if I got one of my guys is getting out in a couple of months, like he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to go out to the yard if we're getting ready to go. He doesn't have to if he's about to get in a fight with someone. One of the other guys is going to take that fight for him. He's, you know, we do it all, but usually those, you know, most of my guys, because that's come up a few times. Most of my guys are just like, nah, ain't no one fighting for me. I don't care if I'm getting out tomorrow. I'm going. If I lose my conduct, you know, they're hard numbers, you know. But we try to protect each other as much as we can, and in some cases, we will let them go to PC for the last 30 days.
If they choose to.
With permission, if they choose to. Yeah. If things are real, you know, if they got kids and things are real, like there's stuff on the table out in the yard, and you know, shit's gonna go down. And it's not about not losing their good time. We don't want them to get killed, you know. And so that would be the only reason why we would let that happen. And I've seen that happen a couple times.
There's a couple of times I've had to step in, and that's, you know, one of the reasons I did all my sentence was because of that. So
how much longer did you have to do staying in to make sure you were out on paper? I mean, what, 3 years? 2 years?
Actually, over that, because I got 7, I got 10 total, and then I got 7. I had another case come in while I was in. So they convicted me of one where they gave you 7, and then the other one they gave you 3, and they put them right back to, you know, they were consecutive concurrent, but I caught all that time.
Right. Hey, for you guys, because I can't comment on this, Sweet Liberty wants to know: did you ever know anyone who wanted to stay in, like in the Shawshank?
Yeah, I knew it. Okay, in California, they started out the prison system with numbers, A number, and then they run 5 digits, and then they go to B, and then they would run the number out, and then they go to D. So an A number, if you're in prison with somebody who's got an A number, they've had that number since an ungodly amount of time. By the time I got in there, I had an E number. So you think if somebody has an A number, you know, that's breaking 50,000 every time they hit a letter. So yeah, those guys that had A numbers, I only knew one person with an A number and a couple people with B number. I was in with more C and D numbers, which are
here's a great question that I've actually thought of. Mariana asks, do people ever kind of keep their release date hush hush because they don't want it getting out? I bet.
Oh yeah.
I bet it would be hard to do that, man. You know, you can see the light.
Good question, honey.
Yep.
I bet.
Nobody knew I was getting out until the next day, that night, the night before.
Really?
My cellie was the only one who knew.
You just kept that down. Wow, very cool. I don't blame you.
Yep.
So people are asking about I don't mind commenting on Tommy. No big deal. Tommy's hurt. He hurt his back. He fell off a ladder with a chainsaw, which was a kind of a knuckleheaded stunt, but he's hurt and he's going to be okay. But he's just in the jam right now. He's just in pain. I have a bad back. I've had a host of surgeries and stuff, but I can sit without too much pain and I can lay down without dying. I can't walk very well, but Tommy is just, you know, he can squat but he can't stand or you know, sit. Sitting is excruciating for him, but he's going to be okay in the jam right now. Interesting question. Chicken Cherry Cola. What's the worst odor?
You're sitting in a cell, an 8 by, you know, 13 or whatever they are, and there's a toilet and there's two people. Somebody's gonna have to go to the bathroom. So when somebody's sitting on the toilet, they've got one in their gut, you're gonna know.
Wow.
No way getting around it.
Wow.
No way. Yep.
What's the most people you've seen or can be in a cell? Just two or?
No, I've seen what 2, 4, 6, 8. In the county jail, there were hives like that, but not in prison.
Right.
I was always in the cell, and it was always 2 men. But now they took over the gyms. They got 3 man, 3 high bunks. I couldn't live like that.
Yeah.
Out in the open.
What's the first thing you ate? And I'm curious to hear this. Nurse Holly wants to know, what's the first thing you guys ate when you were released? What'd you have, Russ?
I think it was a Big Mac. Because that was there at the train station. It's just been so long. I might as well. I don't know about Casper.
Yeah, sorry. I'm looking up for some old prison pictures to share with everybody. I had first thing I ate after I did my main bit was a Subway from a convenience store, just a hoagie sandwich. It was dried, it was gross, but I had a tall boy with it, and that was delicious. That was delicious. And the bus driver see me come on with the tall boy, and he's like, "You're not going to drink that back there." I said, No, it's for when I get to the next stop. And he's like, "All right." He's like, "I have my strict alcohol policy, man." As soon as he pulled away from that bus stop, it was so good. Best beer I ever had in my life.
How long had it been?
15 years. It's been a long time.
I bet.
I mean, but I drank every day inside, but still,
different.
Yeah, it's different.
Mariana asked, do you think the people who just keep coming back to prison are more addicted to the lifestyle or the substances?
Both. Yeah, I mean, you look at everybody that comes out with gang tattoos all over their face, all they're going to do is go in and out. Unless you get that, guys that want to change, you got to drop out and do something different, or you're going to just keep coming back. It's just a rotating door.
That's sad.
I know guys that got out one day from the joint and were back that night on a violation.
Yeah, Tommy told me a story. Yeah. Tommy told me a story just like that.
Yep.
They get in trouble at the they get in trouble at the bus station. I've seen that, especially in California. Guys, they'll send undercovers to the bus station to try to sell them dope, and they'll buy it, and they'll get their parole right there. It's crazy. Makes no sense why those fools would do that, knowing that happens too, and they just can't help themselves.
Right.
It's addiction.
It's tough. I know guys send their parole officer a pair of tennis shoes when they got out, because that just tells them, I'm going to run. You better get ready to catch me.
Yeah.
Wow. As James Collins Cares eats a butterscotch pudding snack pack, I wonder, can you buy these in commissary?
You can buy a lot of stuff in state commissary.
Can you get butterscotch pudding snack packs?
No. You can have them sent in.
You better walk a straight line, crazy. James Collins Cares. You can't get that on the inside.
Yeah, hey James, you won't be getting no butterscotch. I love those too. Those are good.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Pam says, for the guys that have been in prison a very long time, do they become institutionalized? I'll tell you what, I knew a guy that only did 5 years. He got out and he was there in 5 years. I think it depends how mentally strong you are.
It does, and it depends if you get involved with anybody while you're in.
Right.
You get tipped up or whatever. Tommy could tell you this too, I'm sure. I mean, it's just like in Shawshank. I mean, you get used to them, and the walls, and then you get, accustomed to it, and then then you begin to rely on it.
Right.
It's guys that have done. I mean, I did a lot of time because I did 3 after I got out of there in another state. So you were just kind of numb to everything outside and just used to everything inside.
Wow.
Hmm.
All right, so this is an interesting one. Lisa Trimble asks everyone, where's the worst jail you went to and why?
What was it?
Lisa Trimble wants to know what's the worst jail that you were in and why?
I think the worst jail I've been in was a county jail. I mean, it depends on what you consider worst. I mean, with amenities or anything like that, or any kind of programming or whatever, it's been a county jail. Now, I've been in some prisons that were straight gladiator schools. They hand you a trash can lid on the when you get off the bus and say good luck because you're going into a fight. You're going to be trying to make a mark anywhere you go.
Man.
Yeah.
What was the question again? I'm sorry. Everyone, where was the worst jail you went to?
Worst jail you've ever been to, Casper.
Sorry, guys. I was just looking for some pictures, man. Some cool pictures. I found a lot of cool pictures, but nothing from jail.
I've got some prison pictures of me. You know the old photos that you could have.
Yeah. I got some on my iPad. I just can't find them. Of course, I can't find them right now.
Right.
The worst jail I ever went to, I would say it was LA County Jail, just because it's so unruly. And it takes you, 3 days to get booked in. And they tell you to roll it up to get booked out, it takes another 24 hours. And the best thing about that jail is though, if your bail is under $25,000, you're not going to jail. So if you have a $15,000 bail, they're not even going to take you into the jail because it's so full. But there's some things that I like about that jail. But that's definitely the worst jail I've ever been to, and would never want to go back. Like I would run if I thought I was going back to that jail. I would run, and normally I don't run from the cops. I just take it, and either I either know I'm going back anyway, or I know I'm going to get bonded out. But if I knew I had to go spend some time in that jail, I'll run, and yeah, you wouldn't see me.
It just like I was saying, it depends on where you go. I mean, county jails are the worst, and you could go to a bad prison.
Yeah,
I've only been in jails, never prison, like I said. But the worst one I was in was Houston. I did not have a good time there. Part of that was probably where I was at in life. I was a jackass that night. I deserved everything that happened to me that night, for real, man. That was a good night. I learned a lot that night, boy. I'll tell you what. That was,
yeah.
Tommy, that night, Tommy said to me, man, before I left to go, he says to me, looked at me and goes, don't get in a fight, don't get arrested. So he said to me, don't get a fight, don't get arrested. And then sure enough, man, I called him to have him bail me out. He picked me up. It was so bad. It was like my dad was picking me up. He picks me up. I get in the car. He didn't say a word to me. We're driving in there. I was in the passenger. He didn't say a word. Like he was just pissed at me. He was like the little brother. I felt like, it was awful. That was a terrible. I did not like Houston at all. Houston was bad. I got in a fight that night. Once I was in, it was terrible.
I don't know how many fights I've gotten into that I've walked out of. There's been so many. Some couple prison nights I don't know how I walked out of, covered in blood, shot with a block gun. Oh yeah. There's been quite a few.
Here I got a couple quick little pictures. And this is just when I first got out. That was when I first got out. That's me and my grandmother. I hadn't seen her in well over a decade. She was never able to come visit me. But that's when I was at the halfway house. I took the bus to North Hollywood. My halfway house was in Hollywood, and she lived in North Hollywood. I was supposed to be job hunting, and I went and took the bus to go see her.
Ate some good food.
Oh man, I had the
Bet.
really good food. She makes homemade tortillas, homemade refried beans. Yeah, she's a beast, man.
Yep.
And then this picture is me shortly after I got out of the halfway house. Yeah, and I was looking pretty crazy there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me go see if I can get one of mine. I'll go find it.
But I was trying to find some yard pics, of us on the yard, and I'm sure you've seen pics from Tommy's. But I have a bunch, man.
Casper, you know the ink brand Fusion Ink?
I do.
They have the best in my opinion. Their yellow is the best, says James Collins Cares.
Their yellow is up. So that's funny you say yellow, brother. So their yellow is awesome, but for some reason I am stuck on the Eternal Bumblebee. I love that yellow, but for all the other yellows, I only use Fusion.
Man,
I only use Fusion
too. I need more.
And then I just switched my brand from Eternal to Fusion 2 years ago. So I use mostly Fusion now, and I just certain colors I use of other brands. White, I only use Radiant. When I used to only use for white, I would only use you know which one I'm going to say. It's the one that we all use. God, why can't I think of the name of that right now? I probably have a bottle of it somewhere here. Anyways, I don't use the white I used to use all the time. I use one called Radiant now. So, but yeah, Fusion.
Got some pictures
Fusion's
here,
the
dude?
best.
Hey, Casper, I'm going to send you a picture. Maybe you could put it up.
Okay, yeah, text it to me.
Okay.
All right, so Johnny, what are the different states I've been in jail? Let's see, Texas, Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Reno, Iowa, Reno. Texas and Reno were not good to me. So
Truckee, Tahoe, Donner.
God, Orange County has been mine.
Oh, yeah.
Orange County, Santa Ana. I've been to LA, but they transferred me to Orange County. Riverside County.
I've been in all those. I've been in every single one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, question from Gia. Do you have ice in prison? Like for a drink, that kind of ice?
Yeah. In the feds, you do.
Yeah. In the state, they would bring in a trash can, a clean one, and they'd fill it up with ice and bring it in the unit, and you just have ice whenever you wanted it. But we didn't have an ice machine or anything like that. It wasn't every day. It was on occasion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Yeah, we had ice machines.
Yeah, you guys had ice machines, pillows, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But we had TVs and all that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Did you get that picture?
Oh, here, let me see.
I'm missing so much, you guys. I apologize. Ghost Ray, is it hard to get bonded out? I suppose it depends on what you're getting, what the infraction is.
However much your bond is. You look at today, they don't have bond.
Let me go grab my phone. I'll be right back.
You know what? Tommy and I were only in jail once together. That's kind of an interesting story. Only once. It was on Father's Day.
Really?
A lot of years ago. Yeah, I got someone that worked for Tommy and I she worked for me, and one day she doesn't show up for work. I get a letter handed to me. It's got a letter from her with a key to her apartment, because we had like a $30,000 or $40,000 really expensive camera that was in her apartment, and she was bouncing out of town. She says, I don't want to get stuck with this camera, so here's my key. Please go in there and get it for the company so I don't get on the hook for it. So Tommy and I went over there to get it, had witnesses with us, because we knew it smelled bad. The whole thing smelled funky. So we had people go with us and witness it. We may even have it on video, but we went there and got the camera, got our stuff, and walked out. And then it was Father's Day. I was driving home. I was on Pyramid Highway. And I get a text from Tom, or a phone call from Tommy. And I answer the phone, and he goes, I said, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?" He goes, "Handcuffs." I said, "You're kidding me. What are you in handcuffs for?" And he goes, "Man, Nikki said that the deal with Nikki." I said, "Yeah." She shit. And she said we broke into her place. I said, "Well, we have a letter. It's ridiculous. We have a letter that says we, so we talked to the cop." So I turned the car around. I just passed his apartment. So I did a U-turn because I'm going right. I know I'm going to his place. And I started talking to the cop. I said, "Look, the girl worked for us, and she, I have a letter." I explained the whole thing to him. He said, "Well, come on down. We can work this thing out." I'm like, taking my roll. I had I don't know if it was Rolex. I took my watch off and put it. I knew I was going to get arrested. I knew it. I didn't want to be wearing it. So I pull in and I go to Tommy's place, and he's sitting at his kitchen table, his arms behind him, cuffed. And the guy says to me, the cop says, I start talking and tell him the whole story. I mean, we weren't lying. It was, we ended up getting thrown out of court because of that. So we were totally legit, but he didn't buy any of it. After Tommy was like the most mild-mannered, well-spoken, calm, easygoing dude until they said to me, "Turn around, put your hands behind your back." He went postal. When you run, he just lost it. Oh my God. So we get arrested. We go down, we get through intake. This is in Parr Boulevard in Houston, or in Reno. So we go through, we're in intake. We're sitting down. Here's the weirdest thing. Obviously, we didn't know it was going to happen. I was wearing a pair of khaki shorts. We looked identical. We were in the exact same clothes. We just didn't plan it. And we're sitting there in intake. I look over and he goes, "Hey, you know what?" I said, "What?" He goes, "This is the first time we've been in jail together." I went, "It is." It was just very funny. Kind of struck me that it was the first time. We got a chuckle out of that. But that was the only time. And it got thrown out of court. Went to court. The judge says, "Man, if I were you, I'd fill out a police report against her for filing a false police report." And she had so many troubles in her life. I couldn't do it to her. She worked for us after like a week of working for us. She doesn't show up for work one day. So we're calling, like, "Where is she?" I mean, Nikki, 2 days later, she calls me. She's like, "Someone slipped me a Mickey when I went out." I said, "You're kidding me." And Tom and I were like freaked out about it. We're like, "Well, don't worry about it. You just come back when you're ready." In the first 6 months she worked for me, it happened to her 3 times. We called it slipping somebody a Nicky instead of a Mickey because it happened to her so often. I don't know I don't believe it was really happening. I think she was just saying that. But she left. When we went to her place, I swear to you, it was strange. She had food. There was food on the stove. Like she was cooking. And when she bounced out of there, she left. Like, I don't know what the deal was, but she left in a hurry.
Wow.
That was creepy.
Well, I mean, that sucks that you guys are even in jail together. I've had some close friends like brothers. I've had uncles in jail, but never one of my brothers or a sister. No, none of my kids have been to jail. Nothing. So
I didn't like it. It wasn't fun. I tell you what, I don't think I'm, thank God I didn't go to prison. I don't think I wouldn't have done so well at it. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I would have. Maybe I would have rose to the occasion. I'm not sure.
a soldier.
Right? Lisa says, "What is the difference between?" Oh, look at this.
Look at that guy.
Holy cow.
Jeez.
Look at that good looking guy right there, boy.
Holy moly. Leave some for the rest of us.
I still got hair. I still got
That makes
hair.
me want to go back.
It makes me want to go back.
You're the small spoon.
He's single.
Buddy.
He's single, ladies. He's single.
Yeah. That is too funny.
Yeah.
That's
is that the only one? I thought I was ready for another one.
Well, I couldn't go and dig them out. That's the one I could grab.
That's right. Trimble asks, "What is the difference between the kind of bail where you can pay a percentage of the total bail and the bail that is cash surety?"
Well, a surety bond is, and then there's a percentage, right? A percentage, or what's it called, Tommy? If he's there. But I know a surety is like property, but the other one is, I forget what they called it. But now, like I said, they don't even have bail. no bail policy, or
Right.
they just kick them out unless it's for a high felony. Yeah, I know somebody's gotten arrested like 80 times in the past
Oh,
10
what?
years.
Look at this guy.
Uh-oh.
What?
Forget about it. Forget about it. You gotta be kidding me.
What? Oh, what? Look at them
Come on now.
guns, man, ladies.
Come on now.
It's too funny.
You
I
know.
love it.
That is
I'm
funny.
gonna kill you, Kathy.
All right.
Okay, so Marietta asked, what was the one prison meal you guys looked forward to?
Oh man, liver and onions. I already know.
For real?
Yeah, liver and onions.
Bro, I love liver and onions. That's crazy. What about
Me
you,
too.
Raj?
No, my favorite meal. Oh man, geez, there were so many. You know, I'd have to. My favorite meal is what I made in the cell, what we cooked.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah.
Street food was
Yeah.
just so bad.
Breakfast,
I mean, that's-
man. That was my favorite cereal.
Hard-boiled egg. They would give you a hard-boiled egg. What are those? A biscuit like, and they don't give you eggs. Maybe a processed piece of bacon. But you
Kristen
get your
Melinda,
lunch.
just everybody, Kristen Melinda is a little unsettled at how easily you can make photos look like videos, Casper. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Russ is a little salty with that last one too.
Well, it didn't do it exactly. I told it to peel the wife beater off and have a chiseled 6-pack, and it all it did was give him guns. So I'm gonna have to make some adjustments on that.
I still got guns, just not that big.
Yeah.
Right? All right, so let me
I was
see.
311 pounds
311?
311. Because I used to power lift too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all we did in the joint was just hit the weights.
Yeah.
300
I'm
club,
happy to
400
see you,
club.
Kat. It's good to see you too. You guys are awesome. We appreciate everybody being here. Hit the like button, please. If you have a comment, throw some capital C's ahead of it. And if you have a question, do it with C's, with Q's. Excuse me. If you have a question.
That's a true statement, Joe Mama. I was collecting everyone's liver and onions.
Yeah. I know guys who did that too.
Oh yeah. I would eat cold liver sandwiches the next day.
Really?
Man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So good. So
How
good.
could you do that?
I like liverwurst.
I know, I'm crazy.
And I like liver. I don't know if I could do cold liver the next day, like sandwiches.
Me and my daughter, my 6-year-old, love liverwurst sandwiches. Brown Schwager.
Oh, Braunschweiger with onions and good brown mustard. Forget about it.
Yep. Forget about it.
Forget about Braunschweiger. It's so good.
I didn't think she was gonna like it. I had her try it when she was 4, and she loves it, man. She loves it.
Here's the actual Matthew Walter says a surety jail bond is a legal mechanism used to secure the temporary release of an individual who has been detained in jail while awaiting trial.
Mm-hmm.
Bada boom. There you go. Thank you so much for that, Matthew.
Oh, someone asked? I didn't hear that.
What kind of bails they are? There's the surety one, and then there's the one that you have to put up the whole amount, or 10%.
Yeah, cash only.
Cash
Yeah,
bond, cash only. Yeah,
cash bond.
and
Yeah,
surety.
yeah, cash and a surety. Yep.
There we go. Yeah, I always had. Well, in California, I had a surety. I could never make bond there. Well, I did once for 25 grand.
Yeah.
No, twice, because my dad got me out on 250. So, and then my uncle came and got me out on 25. We got raided at his ranch. But other than that,
yeah, that's cool.
I never got out of California. Out here, I've been bonded a bunch of times.
Really? Stay out of trouble, man.
I haven't been to jail in 11 years.
I like to think that I'm never going to get in trouble ever again. I never want to get handcuffs put on me again. I never want
Never.
to. Don't even
unless they're pink and fuzzy.
Right?
Maybe not pink.
I don't even want to talk to them. Here's the thing, though. It's like I don't know, man. I certain situations, like I don't like crowds, man. I don't like large crowds of people. Like you could never get me. Like Tommy loves Mardi Gras. Whatever. You couldn't pay me to go to Mardi Gras. There's way too many people. Too much stuff is going on. So I'm gonna get sucked into something, and I don't want to be there. I don't,
And that's how you get when you're in prison. I mean, I don't know about you, Casper, but me, when I came out, I was so used to the high level. I don't like being in crowds. I like
Mhm.
being my back to the wall. You know, um, I like knowing everything that's going on. And
Mhm.
for a lot of years, I was that way. And
Yeah.
in some aspect, I still am. So,
Yeah. I was for a while, and then when I was made to come up here to Montana, I just, it's so soft up here. They kind of just left me. But my wife and I were talking about this earlier today. They were talking about something happened up here, and some kids were some people were killed. I can't remember. Something just happened up here. We were talking, and or something that happened in the city. I can't remember what we were talking about. But her and her girlfriend had said, yeah, that's why I would never live in the city again. And I'm like, the city's fine. You just have to be aware of your surroundings. It's people that just go through life and they're just like, la, 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 and not that there's anything wrong. That's the way it should be. But if you're living in a city where there's high crime and people are, you can't just be unaware. And so, like you said, back to the wall, sit where I can see the door, make sure I can, just make sure everything that's going on, because 1 second could be the difference between life and death.
yes, they can.
Yeah, 1 second.
It
At least
often
in
And that's
is.
not to be like dramatic or to overstate it, but it really could be crazy.
you could fly off a tier. You could, get a
Yeah.
bone crusher. You won't even see it
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
You get
But
shot.
like even out here on the street, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Thank you, Kat.
going to the restaurant and being able to, see the door,
I'm bad that way. I can't do it. And every once in a while I get stuck because I can't, it happened to me a couple of times when we were filming the reality show I was in. We went to a big meal where there was a bunch of people and I had no choice of where I could sit. And one was just the worst seat you could possibly have ever given me. And I had to sit there for like an hour and a half. And I kept looking over I know I probably looked like a freak. I kept looking over my shoulder because there's a lot of people behind me. And that was just like, and I mean, knowing where the exits are, like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you have warrants.
well, I figured out in
Yeah.
the decade of the 90s, there was only 2 years of the entire decade of the 90s where I wasn't wanted. And I was usually wanted in more than one state.
Yeah, they won't come get you in another state for a misdemeanor. I know that. I went back to California and had a misdemeanor warrant here. What was it, 2011 or 12? And out in California, no, they wouldn't come out there
It's
and get.
funny. Tommy and I will leave. I'll get nervous if I leave the house without my wallet. And we're all legal now. There was a day where I would drive in a car. I was wanted at a bunch of places, and I didn't even think a thing about it. Just jump in the car and start driving. Car wasn't insured. Everything was wrong. It's like I look back on it now, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's
How
crazy.
bad? Like, what is rock bottom? That wasn't rock bottom. Where was it?
Yeah.
I
just seen we have 200 people in the chat and watching right now. I better quit messing around with all these things and get with the business, man. I'm just like,
hey, everybody, like this thing. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do that.
Yeah, please do. It helps the algorithm, helps the channel, so we're able to do this. And we don't ever ask for money at all, but your guys' views helps, and your likes helps get it out there to be seen by more people.
Yeah, being outside.
My cat might need to
driving
use the
around.
restroom. Hang on a second.
Okay. Going out to drop off, some stuff or whatever, running around the truck. with
Yeah.
5 kilos in the back, a couple
Yeah.
few pews in the doors. So yeah, and having warrants and knowing you're being watched.
Yeah.
So it was crazy.
I just can't
Hey,
believe I used to go to sleep at night knowing I was
uh,
wanted, and I just allowed that, forever. I mean, almost an entire decade. That's ridiculous.
yeah, yeah. Dino Creations
Yeah.
next week for sure. I'm gonna have a whole portfolio, and I'll send a text to the fellas and tell them get together some pictures, some more pictures, and we'll have like a picture segment of the night yard.
At some
It'll
point,
be
we're all going to be
awesome.
together. Yes, yes. Some point, we're all going to be together in the same room.
Oh
Be
yeah,
able to
yeah,
do this. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Well, I could
everybody.
make a picture of us all together in the same room. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I can see what
Yeah.
you can do with a camera.
Drinking, partying,
Yeah.
shooting up a bank, whatever we need to do.
Mindy,
Yeah, right.
do you guys know any female ex-prisoners who could answer some questions? Because she would love to know the difference between male and female prisoners.
I got you, John. I'm gonna look at my email right now while we're on online.
Okay, so Pintura Bella, how old were each of you the first time you went to jail? I was 23.
Last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to help you out here.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
No problem. Are we talking juvenile or jail?
First time having a bad run-in with the police. First time they were aware of who you were. Let's go with that.
13.
All right. So younger than me. How about you, Casper?
How old were each of you the first time you went to jail? I was 29.
Wow.
Did you ever do any juvie time?
No.
No? Wow.
No,
God,
I never even tried drugs until I was almost 30. I was 29.
Man,
Wow.
I was 13. Assault on a police officer, theft, and got caught with a bag of dope.
Crazy.
That was the first time. Yeah, and then I got hit with a stolen car, joyriding. Somebody stole a car and we were driving around in it.
Yeah,
And
mine was drug trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first one. And so my first time ever going to jail, mine said United States versus Sam Yarborough. I was tripping.
See, mine was just fights and stupid stuff like that, like testosterone stuff. What piece of advice?
Hey, John, I have no text from you, John. Sorry.
It's all right.
But I will check my email right now.
What piece of advice would you give teens, Russ?
Oh my God. You can't, I don't know. You see them scared straight shows and all that. And you can it depends on who you're talking to, because I've dealt with gangs my whole life, basically, all kinds, from the Mexican side to the white side to the others. And you can talk to them till they're blue in the face, but like when you were a teen or when I was a teen, nobody's gonna tell me what to do. I don't care if you're a convict. At 13, I was a big boy, so I wasn't afraid to sling them. You got people who scream at people and cuss at them and threaten them. It depends on where you go.
I don't even know. You know what I would say? Don't use drugs. Stay sober. That'd be the best advice I'd give.
Yep. Well, I mean,
Seriously.
I was more focused because of the gangs, because of California.
Right.
Drugs is rampant there, and it was rampant there when I was growing up. But it's more gang and controlling, and there's so many politics out there.
What piece of advice do you get? Oh man, I have so much advice for teens.
What would you say?
Man, first of all, stay clean. Don't try it one time, not once. Don't experiment. If you have parents that say, "Oh, I don't care if you experiment," your parents are idiots. And I don't care if it's even with pot, and pot's legal, man. Don't drink when you're a teen. Don't smoke. Wait till you're in your 20s to experiment. That way you can if you even need to experiment. Like it's like there's no reason to experiment.
Are gone. You die if you experiment today. So
Yeah.
Hey, right.
We have a friend, one of our friends. She never ever does drugs, but she said, she's done a line, once every couple years, and she ended up doing a line and having a glass of wine, and they were going to wrap presents with this date she was on, and she woke up, I think something like 20 something hours later, paralyzed from the waist down with her 4-year-old crying, saying, "Mommy, mommy," and her friend that got the coke was dead.
Oh, no way.
Was dead. Yeah. She almost destroyed her entire world. Took her, I think, 4 or 5 months to start walking again. And that was just for, you know what I mean? And that happened in Vegas. There is no experimenting anymore. And you know what? And all them kids that are getting in trouble in school, and you think they're cool, they're not cool. Every guy who I thought wasn't cool in high school have owned companies and corporations and are killing it. And you don't have to have all that to be killing it. But you know what? They don't work check to check, and they don't worry for anything, and they have beautiful lives and beautiful families. And we used to pick on those guys because why? They didn't ditch school and go surfing with the rest of us. You know what I mean? And look, I was a late bloomer, but I still had it in me to be a bad guy when I lost my wife and decided to try drugs for the first time. Do you know what I mean? I still had it in me because I had it in me to do those things when I was a kid, to ditch school, to talk back, to. But the only reason why I graduated school is because I was smart. Do you know what I mean? I could test well, but homework, I didn't do homework. I was too good for all that.
What do you attribute the fact that you were such a late bloomer with all those things? What do you think caused that? What was the delay?
Oh, I know it. My first wife was killed in a car accident.
So she kept you grounded, and when that happened, you kind of just went off the deep end. Is that basically it?
No, I never did anything before her.
I got you.
Even when I didn't know her, I didn't do drugs or, I drank. I was a workaholic. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any, either one of you guys have PTSD, you think, from your experiences inside?
Anybody who's
What's
done,
that?
I don't know. I can't speak for you, but look at the question, Casper.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you get PTSD? How did you feel? So I when I got out, I thought I was normal. I thought I was fine. And I heard all these guys saying PTSD because they were in a riot over here, right over there. I was in 13 riots. I saw 12 people get killed, literally in 2 years. And I was at a prison where 12 people got killed in 10 months. So but I still didn't think I had any PTSD over it. But because I couldn't stay sober, I couldn't figure it out. And so I had a therapist that wanted me to try EMDR, eye movement derealization. And it come to find out the things that I didn't think were giving me PTSD did, like standing in front of that door with my shank and my underneath my sweats, waiting for that door to open and not knowing what was going to go on for the day. Especially because I'm a gang member, right? So I don't know what's going on, what my guys are going to get me into, or what I'm going to get myself into, or maybe I'm not going to be able to pay the heroin dealer today, or maybe someone's not going to pay me and I'm going to have to do something for the disrespect. You just don't know. And it was all that unknown that was traumatic. And that was the PTSD. And I don't even like saying the word PTSD, but you know what? I sure enough had it, and I didn't realize it. And ever since I dealt with all of that, I've been clean and sober.
Yeah. I mean, that's great.
For the most part, here and there, I've had a beer here, there, Yeah.
I've never really drank my whole life. I mean, I've never been a drinker. I never did pot. I think I did it twice my whole life.
Yeah.
It's always been the bag or, something else. But I never did acid or sherm or nothing like that. But you come out of there so programmed about your environment that you don't know you have until people put you in that position. Because inside, if you bump somebody, for instance, by accident, get
Yeah.
caught off balance or something like that, you immediately stop and say, "I'm sorry, forgive me, I got caught right here." Talk.
Mhm.
People out here don't. So you want to turn
Yeah.
around and knock them out.
Yeah.
They don't have respect. You're going to get hit with respect.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. So PTSD is
Show enough,
real.
shouty. Yeah.
Like, right there, you're going to get hit with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't make me release the dogs. I don't know their names, so I can't call them back.
Respect is right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Tard life, brother. Tard life.
Yep.
Yeah. Because we're retards up in here.
All right. So, Casper, do you remember what year you were in jail in Casper, Wyoming?
I sure do. Natrona County. I was in Natrona in 2003 for a little bit. 2004. I'm sorry. Yep. In a transport. And I was there they had just started making everybody wear bracelets, and they were repairing. They were doing some remodeling, and we could talk to the girls through the intercom. It was weird. You could barely hear them, but there was like a short circuit in the intercom, and because the girls were kind of far, and and that's where I made the dude do the 9/11 thing where I had him break all the sprinklers. Was in Natrona. Yeah. Hey, you know what's crazy too? They took us up there. I was in the hole. So they had to take us to booking to take showers. All right, brother. To take showers, and they were booking in these two paisas, right? And the dude there was a dude. He was like going, "Weddle, weddle, 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 weddle." I was like, "What's up, man?" He's like, come here. And I went over there, and he turned around because I wasn't handcuffed. I was, in my shower slides and my towel and in my jumpsuit, and he's handcuffed. The cops just bringing him in, and the highway patrolman's doing his paperwork, and he dropped an 8-ball in my hand.
Oh man.
Yeah. That he had on him. Yeah. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I was super happy, man.
I bet you were.
Oh man, I was happy, man. I was happy.
Cool.
Yeah, it was the first time I had gone number 2 in like a week and a half.
I don't know.
But I sure did. It was crazy.
I remember we had lockdown for like, I don't know, probably a month, and it was between the Mexicans and the blacks. So all the white people had to take the job. All the white guys had to volunteer, and I worked in the kitchen for a little bit, and I would bring home peanut butter. And inside, you just eat peanut butter and go lift. Because, it's all that protein. It just helped. But you wouldn't crap for like 3 weeks. And those metal toilets, it's kind of gross, but those metal toilets would not suck down what I was putting out.
Damn.
I had to get a pencil and break it up.
You could, hey, those toilets will flush Wee Man from Jackass, man.
Yeah, those suck a whole blanket down.
Yeah.
So
the best thing to do for that when you're using peanut butter is protein. You got to complete it with carbs. So a white piece of bread, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we were making peanut butter sandwiches and just
yeah.
They had peanut butter and honey mixed in a little cup.
Oh wow,
that would come with your lunch, yeah. So we would come home with jars of it.
Well, protein, you need it. What else were you getting? What else were your good sources of protein?
Well, I mean, in packages we'd have the vitamins sent in and stuff like that. So
mackerel,
fish.
Yeah. Karen asked. Here's a question from Karen. You guys have to answer this one. I'm not sure. Rocky turned down 180 days and is looking at possible 24 years if guilty verdict returned tomorrow. Could you have turned down the offer even if innocent?
No, I couldn't.
So Rocky turned down 180 days, and now he's looking at 24 years because he went to the box. Yep. I'm guessing. Yep. Could you have turned down the offer even if innocent? It depends what it was for. It was for. If
somebody, right?
Was it?
Yeah.
Who
I think they got
is
it
this
on
one of
video.
our is this one of our listeners family members?
No.
This is this is a
asking
somebody
a
that's
question.
like on you. No, I know. She is this happening to somebody?
Yeah, I know.
Is it on
ASAP
the
Rocky.
internet or on the news or
Yeah,
something?
YouTube.
Rocky who?
ASAP Rocky. ASAP Rocky.
Oh, ASAP Rocky. Why do I not know about
Yeah.
this case?
I have no clue.
I don't either, man. I feel like
I have a
it
whole
must be doing a
channel
math
that
problem.
is it a black dude?
Yeah, rapper.
Oh, I see. I call that something totally different. Oh, is he getting sentenced tomorrow?
Yeah, well, verdict's coming in tomorrow.
Is
I
this the
think.
trial that's been going on for like 9 months, 10 months or whatever?
Yeah, I think so.
Real long time.
Yeah, I didn't
There's a
know. I did
few
not
that are
have
going
a
on.
clue.
Well, hey, we're gonna watch that sentencing then, or get that verdict tomorrow. Then on the Morning Mayhem show, we'll have that live then.
Yeah, this is Rihanna's boyfriend, from what they're saying.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna have that live on the morning show tomorrow.
Okay.
All right,
Yes,
so
sir.
James Collins Care says, I just want to say I'm proud of the three of you and Tommy as well for where you are now.
Hey, thanks, James. I appreciate it. I almost called you Jimmy. Sorry about that, James. Yeah, we all appreciate that, man. It's you know what? And it's something for us to be proud of because not a lot of guys do it, man.
No,
You know,
they don't.
not a lot of guys do it. It's exhausting though, living that life, man.
It is. It wears you out because, you know.
It wears your soul thin, man.
Yeah, where's your soul thin, dude?
It does.
does.
And it's like,
And I think once you get spiritually correct too, man, it's so much easier to not recidivize or it's so much easier, man.
I've been to the whole, I don't know how many times. I've done years. in the whole-
Club.
Yeah.
Club.
I've read the Bible 7 times, the little one, you know, and the big one, the
Yeah.
one that give you in the hole. But I don't know if it was divine intervention or what, but something helped me. I
Yeah.
can't really say.
I can tell you it was divine intervention for me anyway. I can't speak
Yeah.
for anybody else, but I can promise you that. Like
Yeah.
you know, they ain't nobody luckier on this panel than I am. I mean that. I should have done more time than Tommy. I should still be in there, and nobody should look at me and give me the time of day. And I'm not looked at like a leper. And
Yeah.
I'm a very, very fortunate person for real. But I know that, I'm doing all I can. Like it's it's a game of catch up ball. It's a full court press. I got a lot of making up to do, like a lot of making up to do. I know Tommy feels the same way. And it's like,
it's the Game of Thrones. Who wants to play?
How much I give back or try to to correct, I'll never, ever come close to do repairing, but I have to try.
I feel you on that, but check this out. Like in the grand whole universe of things, and it's said in the Bible in a different way, but Siddhartha Gautama, Buddha, he said the best way to clean up any kind of bad karma or what you got coming is to, those people that you meet that just rub you the wrong way, you don't like off the rip.
Yeah.
He said the best way is to treat those people with kindness, compassion, and respect. Those people that it's easy to be like, oh man, I feel like I've known you from another life. Those people you meet, like it's easy. You don't clean up no karma like that. He said, basically said it's a whole teaching in the, whatever that book is again. I haven't been a Buddhist in like over 15 years, but and they talk about in the Four Noble Truths too. There's a part of that and the Eightfold Path. It's all part of it. But the way you treat other people that you don't get along with is how you clean up your bad karma. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think you've probably done plenty, brother, because you treat me pretty good, and I know you really like I don't vibrate with you. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
But you know what I mean? Like me and Johnny were on a podcast. What was it, last week?
Yeah.
We were on one together and we vibed right away. Even before we even talked, I knew I was going to love him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no doubt.
But
well, I
if,
had a spiritual connection with Johnny when I ate those hot
yeah,
nuts.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's right.
No, but you know what though?
Man,
There's that weird sort of couldn't describe it if I had to, but there's just that instant you're part of my crew. Like I'd do whatever I had to do for you. You know what I mean? Like yeah, it's just like that. I know it's hard to
Yeah.
explain.
But
yeah, I
treat
think
someone that it just rubs you the wrong way. Maybe is like maybe even a psychic vampire, you know, that drains the room of energy.
Yeah.
Man, go hug that guy and tell him you love him, man. You're bringing that. You know how we're all a spark of light, trying
Right.
to get to God's light. We're all part of those spark. That'll bring you a lot closer to that light than anything.
Well, it's the ones that you don't want to say that you get close to and be kind to. Those are the ones you need to be.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yep.
I always see if I see somebody homeless, I always hand them what's in my pocket, or give them time. Uh, there was this blind kid outside of CVS last week, and they're talking about suicide awareness, and he was there, and I had to stop and talk to him too. I mean, it's really good. I tend to stay away from people that get under my skin, but I'll approach people like that and try to
yeah.
help.
Hey, do you fellas know the answer to this? Because I read it and don't have a clue. Pam asked, is it true if a guy from one gang kills someone from another gang, then they get a face tattoo?
In some cultures, I mean, in
And
some,
some,
But not
yeah,
always?
no,
Gotcha.
no, because
no. Go ahead,
go
brother,
ahead.
because I'm
Okay.
looking for something.
In some places, some people will do that. Um, in California, I know some some gangs do,
Right.
and others have other badging. Um, you got the bolts that you can get if you do some work or whatever. I don't want to really get into it too much, but I've earned them, but I've never put them on me because I didn't want that moniker, that label. So as you can see in the picture, in '95, I just had the wizard tattoo, but the other ones you can't see. You know, you couldn't see at the time. It's weird.
Yeah, that's
I'm really not
yeah. So
Catholic, but thank you
I
for
have
saying
some
that.
tattoos. I have some tattoos that were earned. Like I have these on my neck, these two lightning bolts. I have some big lightning bolts right here that I earned, and then I have a really terrible tattoo on that side that I need to get removed. But you know, if I could remove this tattoo, but then I'm just going to have a negative space of that shape. You know what I mean? And it's the shape we all know what it is.
Yeah.
But I just haven't been able to figure out how I'm gonna
Something will
do
come
that
to
yet.
you.
What's that?
Yeah.
Something will come to you. You'll come.
Oh yeah, yeah, a fillet knife.
Yeah.
Look what Nurse Holly
Yeah,
says. Every person deserves dignity and respect. Everyone.
that's right.
Man, I agree with
Not,
that.
well, I mean, you got a certain category of people, of person that doesn't.
Yeah.
And they're all in prison, hopefully, at one point or another, because they'll get what they got coming. It's like JD
Yeah,
Delay. I mean, God love him. I respect him all, as much as I can because he's out for a goal. You get somebody like that, like somebody who hurts a child on purpose, you can't respect them. But
right.
they do. You do give them the benefit of the doubt to people
Yeah,
because where I came from, you needed something on paper. You don't just take the word of somebody.
Right.
You got to check it
that's right.
out, do your work for it, and then you go make your decision.
Yeah, I
Well,
just
giving people the benefit of the doubt. It's like you have to believe a victim. Anytime there's a victim, you have to believe them. I'd rather believe a victim and be wrong than to
Mhm.
not believe a victim. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you
Yeah.
got to give people the benefit of the doubt. If you got something concrete, something on paper that shows otherwise, then that's a different story.
Yes, it is.
What a mess.
You know?
What
I know
a
many
mess.
guys.
What a mess.
Yeah.
Yep, something like that.
I'm just a part. We got to until it affects me personally, I just let God do that. And then even when it does affect me personally, I would hope and pray I would just let God take care of that. But, sometimes maybe God uses us to take care of it. I don't know. It's a tough one.
I agree with you too there, but it also comes back that what would you do if somebody hurt one of your children?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know? Oh,
I'd
okay.
cheerfully do the rest of my life in prison. That's what I would do.
In a second, but I would hope and pray that I would let God take care of it. But
Oh, he
I mean,
will.
look, my wife, if you ask my wife right now, if something ever happened to my daughter, what would I do? I'd go kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go kill him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I would hope,
I tried to.
that I wouldn't, but
it's
too
a fine
much.
line. Yeah,
It's too much.
I didn't want to think about it. Lisa,
Yep.
let's change subject. That's
Yeah,
freaking me out.
please.
Lisa Trimble, how did your family and friends react to you when you got out? Does anyone have problems with you or negativity towards you guys?
My friends and family, all my brothers and family and my parents stuck by me 1000% the entire time. I never, the entire time. They were dumbfounded that I was even there. They didn't understand. How did I go from working at Microsoft to looking at all this federal time? So I remember my mom's first visit, she just looked at me with like, what happened?
Right. Yeah.
And she knew what happened, but lots of people lots of men lose their wives in car accidents. And don't take the route I took, but it was just in my cards, man.
It had to happen. You listen.
Yeah. I'm a better person today than I would have been if it wouldn't have happened. I know that in my heart of hearts.
I know, isn't that weird how you feel like that? Because if I didn't change when I did, I would be dead.
Do you have family that have been negative towards you? They all been supportive, Russ?
Well, I imaged up to my uncles, and they were always what I wanted to emulate or be with or be around because my dad wasn't around. So those were the male figures I had.
Right.
And they were in my eyes, they were great. Nobody messed with them. They're riding their Harleys, doing their thing. And I had the keys to everything because I was their nephew. But I had to get away from it. When I went straight to the joint, the first person I saw was my uncle, Mike, Big Mike. Brought me over cigarettes, zoos and wham whams, shower stuff, and I stayed under his wing.
Wow.
So I was good, but I never took advantage of that. And having people on the out, I didn't clean my life up until 2011, 12, probably 13. That's when I started my path. And now that I am where I am, from where I was, I'm so much better of a person. It's been a long journey, long road. You have to want to change.
Boy, that's a fact. It doesn't happen by accident. Change isn't fun. It isn't easy.
No.
But the great thing is, I was talking about this on the show that we like when I was living in the life and I was just a bad person. I was casting a ripple. Like everything I did, all my actions, my thoughts, what came out of my mouth, everything would had an effect. There was a ripple. It was negative and awful, and I was so deep in it that I never even saw it. I didn't even didn't care at all. And now, but the beautiful thing is, just like the other side of the coin is, when you get sober, honestly, you cast a ripple. It's a different kind of ripple, but you can make a huge change. And that to me, it's beautiful. That's really, really important to me.
Yeah, my brother told me the other day. He's like last week. He goes, I got to tell you, I didn't ever think I would talk to you again. And he goes, you have turned from something I felt that way about to respect you, and I'm so proud of you right now. He's the only one I got left. I don't have any other family left. I do have a couple uncles left, but I can't be around them because I know me. I know I'll get right back into that. Start carrying a pew around. Go back out to California and start doing this stuff. I'm not. I've got no time for it. So if you
You're
run
past
with
that.
garbage, yeah, if you run with garbage, you're gonna smell like it. So why run with it? You just change.
Yeah. Kristen Melinda says the Microsoft is a stressful work environment. It was super stressful. And this is like the leaving Windows. We were leaving Windows 3.11 for work groups, and Windows 95 was in beta. So it was super stressful because the internet was only a year old, 2 years old. And we were,
the internet
yeah.
was 2 years old.
Yeah, and we were all trying to stay ahead of the game, and they were only hiring the best of the best. And I worked 100-hour weeks, and I worked at home, and that's why I'm saying I was a better person. I'm a better person now because, I used to always say, man, if I could just be the guy who I was before I started doing drugs, I want to be that guy again. That wasn't a very good guy either. Like I wasn't very nice to my wife to the extent where I just worked and worked and worked. That's all I did. And didn't let her get, I told this story before. I didn't let her get a Christmas tree one year because, that was her favorite holiday. But I was like, we're never home. Why would we need a Christmas tree? So yeah, I'm definitely a nicer, more loving, spiritual person now, having gone through it all than I would have if I just would have,
Sucks that it was necessary.
It's a weird, it's hard to explain, but yeah,
yeah, it is hard to explain.
But Microsoft is very stressful, man. It was super stressful. And I was like, I was out there, doing, designing and ghosting 3,000 PCs, like a month, if not more. It was nuts, man. It was nuts.
Well, from where you were at to where you are now, things, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I went from, being the worst, and you see me coming and people would go the other way. But now I get asked about things and talked to and called for advice. And
Isn't that beautiful?
yeah,
Respect.
yeah, it is.
You've earned it though,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, you have to get it for yourself before you can get it from others.
Yep. Hey, Deanne says, shout out for Project ROQ mods. If mods could please share the link.
What is that?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
what is it?
I don't know. I'm going. I figured you guys would know. I feel like again, no idea.
No.
I'm
I mean,
sorry,
that's cool.
Maybe
If they're a friend of the show, that's totally cool. I think it's something to do with Atwood. So yeah, that's totally cool.
Could be. Mindy 9, thank you so much for your super chat. Do many people rehabilitate if they're third and fourth generation poverty? Do many people rehabilitate if they're third and fourth generation poverty? I guess. Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna rehabilitate from wherever you're at, and then you can start that cycle. So yeah, you could, but if you come from a long line of it, it's harder to get away from it.
Yeah.
Because your parents are teaching it to you. Your grandparents are the same way.
It's Ron. That's apparently Ron from the Atwood Show. Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
There we go.
There you go.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh, I think that's little Yum Yum or the long hair cat.
Little Yum Yum.
Yeah. I actually knew a guy. He was he wasn't actually a good person, but he was high up there in a prison gang, and his nickname was Yum Yum, and I used to call him Hostess or Cupcake or something, and he used to get so mad. And he was like above me, but I didn't like him. I've seen that guy a couple times on Atwood.
We got to get that. Somebody said that Zuzus and Wham Whams is a good merch thing. You should put that on some hoodies or something like that with
I
your hot,
will.
For
or
sure.
some hot sauce or whatever. That would
Quick
look real good.
update, you guys, for Sandra, real quick. For those wondering, Tommy hurt himself. He's just a knucklehead. He had no business being on a ladder. At 54 with a chainsaw. That was a bad idea. Anyway, he fell off the ladder. He hurt himself, and it's when you hurt a back, it's you cough the wrong way, you sneeze, and you hurt your back. He's not a kid anymore, so he's hurt himself. He's kind of horizontal, and he's my back allows me to kind of sleep and sit. I'm not in that much pain here right now, which is terrific. But he's in agony, so he asked me if I would still sit in for him. I know I do a lousy Tommy Scoville imitation, but it's the best one I can do for you. So
give him an O-ring so he can sit on a chair.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Convince him of that. But hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. And if he's not, listen, I'll sit in and take one for the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been fun.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed sitting with you guys.
Yeah, it's been super fun, brother. Yeah, thanks for sitting in for Tommy. We appreciate it.
Well, man, you guys are rock stars. It's an honor, I mean, I wish I really do. You guys are so knowledgeable about the legal system. And honestly, it's the one area, if you want to talk about how to, get into a house, I can probably help you out there. I could probably contribute to the conversation. But as far as the legal end of it, I really don't have the knowledge. And, it's really watching Tommy. It's like he's just brilliant. He should have been a lawyer.
Yeah, he should have.
Professor.
That's
our new nickname for him on the Morning Mayhem. We're calling him the Professor now.
I like it. Lisa Trimble, you're wonderful. She says, y'all remind me that miracles are real.
Miracles are real. That's when I first got saved. I used to say that all the time. I used to, I would say, because there was kind of a revival here where in the town I live, a lot of people God was working miracles in this town, and a lot of people, and a lot of people outside, like my people that I knew that I never thought would be saved, were getting saved. So miracles are real. God is amazing, and
how about Sammy the Bull?
I heard that.
Is that the craziest thing in the world? I'm so stoked.
Yeah, I hope we can get him on the morning show. Where I think it's getting talked about. So
he's so excited. Listen, there was a quote he said, I spent most of my life being a criminal, doing, he said, I want to end my life, finish my life with Jesus. I'm sorry. Some people don't get down on that, and that's not your get down, but it's
we're not pushing it at all. Not pushing Jesus at all.
Can I tell you something though? It's my channel is the same way. And that's beautiful about this channel is that there are people that are into vibrations, and there are people that cast spells to help out, and no one looks down anybody's nose at anybody. And that's a beautiful thing, but that is my get down.
Yeah. Look, I'm a Christian, but I went and seen a medium when my best friend unalived herself. I went and seen a medium right away, and she came right through, and I felt better. It helped me heal from it, and I believe we have past lives. A lot of Christians would I would argue that, and I can argue that as a Christian, and not to try to convince you, but I would argue why I believe that's true. Listen,
we're all different people today, and that's a beautiful thing. Whatever we're doing,
that's all that matters.
I'm proud of both of you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. And I'll sit in with you guys anytime, any day.
Yep.
Yeah.
But hopefully Tommy will be back. Tommy will be back tomorrow, hopefully. And I know it sounds weird, but Russ, I think about you in the shower. Listen, you guys, you have to understand the context. He gave me this skull shaver, and he's just a beast, and it's a great skull shaver. It just fits my it's a wonderful gift, and it fits my lifestyle perfectly right now. So you're just a rock star, Russ.
I got you and Tommy one.
Yeah, Tommy, listen, Tommy loves it as much as I do, so it's very, very cool. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. You deserve it.
Awesome, man.
Thank you, man.
Well, do you guys want to call it, or?
Yeah, I think I got some stuff I need to do. This is my fourth or fifth show for the day, but so I got some stuff I have to do. But everybody who took time out of your schedule, and all the super chats and the donations and everything, you guys are wonderful.
Man, thank you so much. Yeah,
awesome.
You
guys could have done a million things tonight, but you sat around and looked at us three. So thank you for doing that. I mean it. I appreciate it, and I look forward to being back.
Awesome. I'm going to answer this last question.
Please do.
Can you pinpoint one specific thing that set you off to your downfall and one that set you off to your uplifting? I think this is a great question. I actually have another channel that is called, and I'm not using this to segue into that channel. I haven't put up any content on it, but it's called Inside the Mind. And those are I'm going to be interviewing ex-cons and criminals and people. And I don't want to talk about, their money glitch on, and how they counterfeit money or got credit card scams. I don't want to talk about any of that. I want to talk about exactly that. Can you pinpoint that one specific thing that set you up? Because there is something set you up. I know what my thing was, and I know that one thing that set off the uplifting and the healing and the all of that. And so I started a channel specifically for that. I just haven't had time to do any interviews yet. And I want us to get in a studio, and I think we're talking about maybe doing a YouTube house or something to where we're all in the same place or something. I don't know.
I'm down for that. No kidding.
I'm so down for that. And, but for the morning show specifically, we definitely want to be in the same town. So that's getting worked on. And, but anyway, my one specific thing, I think I've already mentioned it, was the death of my wife. And then, it was a drunk driver, and, it was just awful. And then that one specific thing that brought me to where I started staying sober and started to be a nicer guy. My heart was always there, was, I talked about that too, I think, in one of my shows, to where I was I just got in a fight. I was on my knees in the hole, and I was like, if you're real, please stop this, fix me, do something. I give my life to you. And sure enough, blam, 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 blam. Miracles started happening left and right. It was crazy.
Is that? I love that.
He just intruded. I would open the Bible, things would be read to me. I would hear stuff on the radio, like, what? That's exactly what I need to hear. And
I love that.
Yeah, it was just crazy. And of course I've been spiritual before that, with Buddhism and believing in reincarnation, because I read this book by Dr. Brian Weiss called Many Lives, Many Masters. It's an amazing book. Everyone needs to read it or listen to it. It's a crazy book. And just like Tommy says, it like there's like all these little steps that lead you to where you end up, and all the, you read a little bit of everything, and within everything, there's like this common denominator, and that's that big spark of that big ball of light. And we're all sparks of that light trying to get back to that ball of light. It's the common denominator in everything, and love, and don't hate, and all of it. So
I love what you said before. I was starting to become a nice guy. I think you're a great guy, Casper.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
I think both of you guys are great guys. I'll go to battle with you any day.
I'll go on there, Casper. I'll definitely go on there, because I know exactly when too. There were a few.
So stay tuned
I
for
never
that.
went to prison, but I know my pinpoint too. So I'd be happy to be on there.
Oh yeah, cool, man.
Absolutely.
Cool.
All right, fellas, you're awesome. Much love. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
We'll
Love you,
see
brothers. Love you guys. All right. Love you guys
too.
all in the chat. Thank you for participating.
Thank you guys
Yeah,
so much.
Jesus, take the wheel, please. Jesus, take us out of here.